They're watching you, but not the way you think. It's not just your enemies, not just people scrolling through your life from behind fake smiles. No, this is deeper. You're being monitored, chosen one, observed, tracked, but not to harm you, to study you, to understand the anomaly that you are, to figure out what exactly God placed inside you that refuses to be silenced. You think your movements go unnoticed, but there are forces watching you from realms unseen and from people you'd never suspect. Heaven is watching, hell is watching, and people you haven't even met yet are keeping quiet tabs on you. Because something about your journey is shaking foundations. You don't act like the others. You don't move like the rest. You don't conform, and that makes you a signal in a world built on silence. You disrupt patterns without even trying. You break generational cycles just by waking up and choosing not to quit. So yes, you are being monitored, not because you're weak, but because you are divinely dangerous. Every trial you went through, watched, every time you didn't retaliate, noted. Every spiritual attack you survived in silence, recorded. They watched as you walked through the fire and didn't burn, through heartbreak and didn't break, through loneliness and still chose love. That kind of resilience is rare. That kind of spirit can't be manufactured. That's the kind of soul the universe leans in to study. You think you're just living, just surviving. But spiritually, your life is a message. You are proof. Proof that alignment is real. That purpose overrides pain. That when someone is chosen, not even hell can cancel the mission. That's why the monitoring isn't always hostile. Some of it is strategic. Some of it is protective. Divine beings are tracking your growth, not to control you, but to guard you. Because what you carry is too important to be left unprotected. You think the delays were coincidences, the missed calls, the sudden cancellations, but those were interventions, timelines redirected, accidents prevented, people removed before their poison could spill into your path. You are surrounded by watchers, not all with eyes, but with assignments. Some sent to stop you, some sent to ensure nothing does. And let's talk about the people watching you in silence. The ones who say nothing, but mimic everything. The ones who never clap for you, but never miss a single move. The ones who swore they'd moved on, but still quote your every word. They're not just watching, they're learning. You became the blueprint for resilience, the model for inner peace, the quiet force that made noise without raising your voice. You showed people how to endure, how to heal, how to rise. And now, they can't take their eyes off of you, not because they love you, but because they're in awe. You've made surviving look too graceful, and that disturbs them. You've turned pain into purpose so smoothly, they question their own excuses. And so, they monitor. They study how you handled loss without losing yourself, how you faced betrayal and still kept your heart soft, how you outgrew every label they placed on you. You weren't supposed to make it this far, but here you are, glowing in places they thought would bury you. Even your silence speaks volumes now. They'd monitor your energy because it carries frequency. Your words have weight. Your decisions shift timelines. When you walk away, things collapse. When you show up, things bloom. You aren't just another person. You are a spiritual event, a walking activation, a mirror that reveals who's real and who's hiding behind masks. The monitoring increases when you stop explaining yourself. When you start moving like you know who you are, that's when heaven leans in. That's when the enemy grows nervous. That's when the watchers stop blinking. Because your awakening threatens systems. You're being watched for evidence. They want to see if it's real, if your peace is fake, if your joy is fragile, if your light is temporary. But every day you wake up and choose faith again, you ruin their predictions. You disappoint darkness. You prove that favor isn't a trend, it's a covenant. This is why people test you, push you, provoke you. They want a reaction. They want to distort your image. But you've learned. You've evolved. You don't play defense anymore. You don't explain your calling to confused souls anymore. You've understood something powerful. Silence is your weapon. Obedience is your shield. And God is your witness. That's why they monitor your failures more than your victories. They want to see you stumble, but they don't understand. Stumbling isn't falling. It's rhythm. It's progress. It's real. And your mistakes are still more divine than their performance. You've become the most watched soul in rooms you've never even stepped into. They talk about you without knowing your full story. They assume, they guess, they project. But the truth is, they're guessing about a blueprint that was never theirs to understand. And you're just getting started. You're becoming more silent, more focused, more dangerous, spiritually, because your purpose is gaining momentum. And the watchers, they're growing restless. But let them watch, because what's coming next? They won't be able to ignore it. You see, when you're truly chosen, your entire life becomes a broadcast, not for entertainment, but for transformation. Your rise becomes a message. Your presence becomes prophecy. And those monitoring you, in secret, in silence, in shadows, they're about to witness something they never saw coming. They thought they were watching your downfall, but they're about to watch your divine takeoff. Some of them started watching you out of doubt, just waiting for the moment you cracked. Others watched with envy, hoping your light would dim. But now, they're still watching, and it's turning into awe. They don't understand how you keep glowing in the dark, how you keep loving after betrayal, how you keep rising when everything around you tries to pull you down. But here's the truth, they never understood your source. Because what fuels you isn't external. You don't run on applause. You don't need validation. You're powered by purpose, by divine connection, by sacred fire. That's what confuses them. That's why they keep monitoring. Because nothing they throw at you seems to stick. Their gossip doesn't slow you. Their rejection doesn't faze you. Their silence doesn't break you. Instead, it all pushes you deeper into alignment. Even those who tried to sabotage you are now stuck in observation mode, watching as the very doors they tried to shut begin to swing wide open, watching as the people they warned about you become your biggest supporters, watching as God prepares a table right in front of them. And let's be clear, not everyone monitoring you is an enemy. Some are witnesses, people heaven has positioned to observe your journey because your life is the evidence they need to believe again. They're watching you survive things they thought were fatal, watching you walk in joy they never thought they'd feel again. You're not just being watched, you're being followed. Spiritually, emotionally, energetically, you are leading a quiet revolution. People watch how you handle pain, because they're in pain too. They watch how you speak, because they lost their voice long ago. They study how you love, how you let go, how you transform, because your healing is permission for theirs. And you didn't ask for this, but you were built for it, anointed for it, appointed for this exact moment in history. So yes, the monitoring is on purpose. It's divine surveillance. God has allowed the world to observe you because your rise is not just about you. It's about what it activates in others. Your survival is a signal. Your resilience is a roar. And every time you move forward, without bitterness, without vengeance, without ego, the heavens record it. The watchers feel it. You've become a living contradiction to everything the enemy hoped would define you. They wanted you angry. You became wise. They'd wanted you bitter. You became better. They wanted you invisible. You became undeniable. And now they watch, not to defeat you, but because they can't deny you. The same people who once ignored you are now quoting you. The same ones who left you in your darkest hour are silently circling back, hoping to get close again. But you're not who you used to be. You've changed. You've elevated. You've seen behind the veil. And now, you move different. You speak less. You feel more. You see through smiles. You sense energy. You no longer walk blindly. You walk intentionally because you finally realize that you're not just living a life, you're living out a mission. And the watchers, they can feel that something massive is coming, something they can't block, something they can't understand, something they will have no choice but to respect. That's why the energy is shifting. That's why old people are suddenly resurfacing, why strange delays are happening, why you feel this internal pressure, like something big is about to erupt. You're right. It is. You're being monitored now because your next move is about to be your most impactful yet. This is the moment before the manifestation, the silence before the breakthrough, the stillness before the storm of blessings. The watchers can sense it. Heaven can feel it. Even hell is nervous. So stay alert. Stay grounded. Move in silence. Let your actions speak louder than ever before. You don't need to defend your name. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to retaliate against anything, because everything watching you.